Good evening. I want to share a quote with you by Albert Einstein. Imagination is more important than knowledge. And today I want to talk about this in the context of education. Why we should be fostering imaginative thinking and how to do it. Our world is changing at an unprecedented rate. In 1965, co-founder of Intel, Gordon E. Moore, published a theory which came to be known as Moore's Law. He estimated that every 2 years, the number of transistors in an affordable CPU would double. And for the last 50 years, his predictions have remained true. In 1956, IBM shipped off its first RAMAC system, which today would cost around $440,000, was the size of 2 refrigerators, and could only hold 5 megabytes of data. Today, you can get a 1 terabyte hard drive installed in your laptop for less than $1,000. Imaginative thinking played an amazing role in this innovation process. I mean, think about it. We went from vacuum tubes to microscopic semiconducting materials in our laptops. In the last 30 to 50 years, our world has changed more than the previous 2,000 combined. So why hasn't our education? Research has been done on how these innovators think, the couple of million who have changed the lives of the 7.3 billion on this world. They make up a very small percentage. And what we have found out is that in addition to the prowess in their respective discipline, they have 4 key skills. They can creatively think. They can critically think. They're able to collaborate and effectively communicate. These 4 skills have become to known as 21st century learning skills. And as the world moves forward, we need to be encouraging this at a young age. But here's why we're not. During the time of the ancient Greeks, children would go to their teacher's house. And to learn, they'd be presented obscure and very difficult tasks. Now, the process of these students arriving at the answer was the real learning. The answer wasn't so important. But today's learning isn't like this. In 1983 in the United States, the National Commission of Excellence in Education published an article called A Nation at Risk. The report highlighted the poor performance of American public school students compared to international students in the STEM fields, and recommended that nationwide standardized testing should be used to hold teachers more accountable for their students' learning. But standardized tests were meant to be a tool to help students, to help teachers. Today in the US, they're the central focus of most classrooms. Thanks to policies like No Child Left Behind and Race to the Top, which are supposed to better allocate financial resources for public schools, have actually corrupted curricula. All public schools in the US rely on the federal government for any type of funding. So naturally, they've had to shape their curriculum to fit these tests, which wouldn't be such a bad thing if these tests emphasized the proper skills. Gerald Bracey, a prominent educational policy researcher, found that the majority of these tests do not represent any of the 21st century learning skills. In fact, a study done on the Comprehensive Test of Basic Skills and the Metropolitan Achievement Test found a strong correlation between high test scores and a high proficiency in shallow thinking and memorization ability, but next to little proficiency in problem solving and creativity. They don't foster curiosity, resourcefulness, and persistence as part of a student's education. Yet they are the single most important factor in determining funding for these schools. Now here at SAS, we're lucky to not have that severe of a problem. Most of the tests that we take are the SAT, ACT, and the AP tests at the end of our exams, at the end of the years. Now I was one of those juniors who spent every single break studying for those tests. Day in, day out, during Christmas, October, spring break, I'd be in a classroom learning how to test and learning how to get that perfect score. And I'll tell you what I learned over those 8 months. I learned how to sit still for 4 hours, and that was it. The hundreds of hours that I spent toiling over questions, over strategies, I could have been spending learning and doing something that I was passionate about. And I realized that my AP tests were the exact same. They were just asking me to regurgitate the information that my teacher had spent all year cramming into my head. So somewhere along my high school career, I decided to stop complaining. I decided that I wanted to do something about this problem, and I took charge of my own education. In my sophomore year, I found 4 other students who wanted to do the exact same thing. And together we formed this ragtag team of 5 high schoolers who badly wanted to apply our knowledge in ways that would allow us to creatively and critically think. Ways that we could collaborate and communicate. We wanted to learn like the Greeks did, immersing ourselves in a problem with no clear solution. And that's what we did. We decided that our problem that we were going to tackle was helping autistic children attend mainstream schools. We had a goal, but we had no idea how to get there. Our process started out with talking to parents, teachers, caregivers, or anyone else that would listen to 5 high schoolers. And at the end of 2 months of late nights, long weekends, and not doing our homework, we had a 400-word abstract. That was it. But we continued on. We continued to work on this project. We added functionalities. We scrutinized every detail. And eventually, we got to the finals of the Conrad Spirit of Innovation Challenge in the NASA Johnson Space Center. All of our hard work over the last 8 months, we had 15 minutes to share. Our loss only invigorated us to work harder the next year. And when I came back with only 3 of the remaining 5 who stayed in Shanghai, we decided we were going to research localized vibrations, which was an integral part of our solution. We had all done our fair share of labs and science projects and essays, but this was research like we had never seen before. Over the next 10 months, we carefully implemented and researched the experiments that we thought would give us the results that we were looking for. We conducted studies at SA's Pudong, Puxi, and at a center for autistic children. Every step of the way required us to critically apply ourselves and to think and to solve problems in innovative ways. Like, how do you quantify the stress level of an autistic child? We did it. Eventually, our hard work also got us recognized. The 3 of us were part of the less than 1% of over 7 million projects that made it to the finals of the world's largest pre-collegiate science fair. And in May 2015, we traveled to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to be involved in this event. But the awards, the international recognition, and all the patents are all really, really, really cool. But they were definitely not the biggest takeaway. At the onset of this project, the 5 of us wanted to find a way in which we could creatively and critically think, to collaborate and communicate, and we did. We learned how to be confident when presented with the unknown. How many parents of high school students do we have tonight, or high school students in general? Raise your hands. All right, so a good number of you. Now keep your hands up if you think that grades are really important for your college and for your future. Ideally, none of you would have your hands up, because grades aren't important, and they aren't everything. We have this notion that as high schoolers, our entire intellect is defined by our ability to describe a mesocycle, or understand homeostasis, or describe the trends on a periodic table under pressure. But it's really not. And too often our classes here at SAS place an emphasis on this content, and we lose out on the ability to think and how to think. And part of this problem is because the mindset of high school educators for too long has been, can my student master the required material? Not, how does my student learn to think better? And these are the skills that will help you in the future and beyond your college. I've had the opportunity to be involved in a project where I was at the cutting edge of research. And I know that in any discipline, in any field of study that you wish to pursue, what you're learning right now in high school will do you little to no good. What will help you is learning how to think. The amount of learning that you will do while involved in a creative endeavor outside of the classroom will be far greater than anything else you ever learned in school. And so, to the students here tonight, I want to challenge you to do something. You've heard about these great presenters and all the work that they've done. I want to challenge you to be those presenters next year. To take charge of your education and to pursue something you're passionate about. Because the life lessons you learn in those endeavors will be far greater than anything else, and more important than anything else you will ever experience. Thank you.